my sweet friends, and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today we are making a Dollar Tree wreath or wall decor using an organizer basket as a base.
I know this looks funny, but yes, we are making a wreath out of this organizer basket from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing we're going to do is, of course, we're going to need a roll of white deco mesh and some chenille wires. I am going to cut my chenille wires in 3, and I just approximated. We're going to start by folding our deco mesh in half and in half, just so I have a nice secure corner right here. Grabbing a chenille wire or a zip tie. I also love using zip ties. Give it a nice good twist so it's nice and tight, and then this frayed little end we're going to hide on the inside and just tie it to one of the corners right here. All right, now that I have it tight, I'm going to measure out 4 inches, and I'm measuring from the spot where I have it tied. So from here, 4 inches. You could do more if you want. And I feel like this is going to be enough. I don't want the white to be standing out too much. The white is my background. And so from then on, I'm going to continue making 4-inch loops.
For today's Ruth Wednesday, I'm being joined by Kiki DIYs. Kiki and I have done many challenges together, and she hosts one of the funnest challenges that are called Unusual Wreath Challenges, so look out for those. But she is an amazing DIYer who does trash to treasure and budget-friendly DIYs that are absolutely stunning. Please check out her channel. I will link it in the description box below. And now, let's get back to the video.
All right, so here we go. I have the full roll done, and in this roll I have 36 4-inch loops, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do because it's going to be hard to see while my hands are on top of it. I'm going to go every other intersection, so I'm calling this an intersection where 2 of the rows intersect. And here's the game plan. I'm going to go all the way around to the center, and then I'm going to go down and up. At both ends right here, you're going to have 2 loops, just one going from here to the center and from the center to the side intersection right here. When you're starting these, make sure your loop is inside and you're looping it. So when you're looping it, just go in here. Okay, let's look at the progress. We have every other right here. And then right here I have on the edge. Then in the middle, and then this one. And then I'm going to turn around and go back. And then we're going to keep on snaking. I went all the way around, and I decided to actually do 3 rows instead of 2, like I said in the beginning, because I realized I was going to have a lot more mesh than I thought in the beginning. So I'm going to be using 3 of the middle rows right here. And I'm going to be attaching every other just like I did, but instead of the intersection, I'm going to be doing it straight on the flat lines because this is the middle. We can move it and it's okay. On the sides here, you can't do that. You need to be on the intersections on the sides. Otherwise, it will slip down, and you don't want that. That's why it's so important to have it on the intersection all the way around. You guys don't have to follow me. You can do it just sporadically, just like you can every other. Maybe you're going to go down this way instead of going up and down. That is completely up to you. All right, here I am. I finished right here, so I'm going to go right to the middle one where I had it before, and then I turn this around. And then I'm going to go down every other right in the center in the middle. Okay, I made it down. I'm going to go straight to the center one where I attached my outside one. And do you guys see how full it's getting? Okay, I have 3 left over, but I refuse to cut it off, so I'm just going to fill it in kind of wherever I feel like it. Just going back up towards the middle. Now it's time to get this foam here. I'm going to cut it in half. And then let's see here, maybe a piece here. Yeah. And I have another piece right here. Well, for this part, I'm going to be using 6 chenille wires, 2 for each one. The first thing I'm going to do is find my center. Once I do that, a big dollop of hot glue. Hot glue, and I'm just cutting it just a little bit in there just to solidify it. And now I just put a big dab of hot glue right there and just let it cool. Okay, I have my foam squares all dried, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put them right here, feed the chenille wires through, and tie them in. And as you see, this is where we're going to put our flowers. And so I'm going to go ahead and put in the other 2 pieces, and then we can get started on the flowers. Okay, we have the back of our wreath, and I'm going to cover it using some felt. Okay, so here's my felt, and I'm going to cut it about 1 inch outside of the edges over here. Okay, I'm just going to cover it, and first I'm just going to hot glue to the edges. Now that the bottom is hot glued, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put hot glue straight onto the felt right there, and I'm just going to roll it and pinch it right there. I'm going to do it one more time. Hot glue, roll it, pinch it, and what this does is it leaves me a nice backing over here, and also covering this is going to hold it. And this eventually you can either cut it off, hot glue it in place, but you don't want to do anything until all the flowers are in. Here are the flowers that I'm going to be using. These hydrangeas are so beautiful. I am going to focus on these gorgeous pink ones. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them down. You don't need that much length for this wreath. So I'm going to cut them down, but also I'm going to take this down, put some hot glue on there, a little dollop, and then put this in. I really want to make sure the florals here go nowhere, and I want to make sure it's secured. So I'm going to do this to all the flowers, and I will be right back. Okay, I have all my florals ready. And I'm going to start with the beautiful pink one. Now that our wreath is complete, I'm going to put a big old pink bow made of this pink burlap flat in the middle. So the first thing I want to do is measure how long I want my bow to be. About there. How big? About there. That looks good. And I'm going to add another inch to give it, you know, some wiggle room. Next, I'm grabbing some grosgrain ribbon, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it right in the center of the bow. And before you start gluing it, Give it about an inch because we're going to fold it back on the ends. I absolutely love this burlap, and I do like it frayed just a tiny bit, so I'm going to take one row down from each side. Actually, this looks good, or let's do 2 rows. All right, now we have our little piece of burlap left. I'm going to find the center, and I'm going to put something where my center is. It doesn't matter what. This is just so you can eye it where you want it. And just see if this bow is a little too big. It's looking a little too big for me. Oh, I actually like that. See? You never know. Okay, let's bring it together. We have our 2 tails. Make sure they're a good length. Crisscross them. Get your center, bring it in. Grab your floral wire, and this is the one from the Dollar Tree. Any floral wire will do. You can also use, I've used twine before, I used thread before. You could definitely use some of those chenille wires for that. Anything you want. So twist it, put it in place. Okay, I'm grabbing a long piece of wire. Got my center, and I'm going to twist it. This is how I'm going to attach it to the wreath or the wall hanging. Now I'm going to get some more of the white and cover the center. All right, here is my humongous bow. I really did not think I was going to make a bow this big, but you know, that's what I wanted apparently. So I'm going to find somewhere to loop it and bring it back. I'm going to make a little V. Make sure that it's in the center. Bring it up. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece. I'm just going to, just so it doesn't go back down while I'm doing this one, I'm going to make a little V. And then I'm going to just twist it right there and then hide my little wire behind there. Okay, now let's make sure the tails are even, and they're not, they're off just a little bit. Going to hot glue that in place. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just fold it back. By the way, if you feel like it's too big, but you thought it was big and you wanted to make it small, just grab the backs and you could just kind of fold them back. And there you go, look at that. I could definitely get away with making it smaller, but I'm really liking it a little on the bigger side. And there you go. I know this is a wild one, lots of flowers, big bow in the middle, but what do you guys think? Something different, something for the summer. And by the way, I know like there's a space right here. This is the time you go around, move those flowers, get that mesh up, work it in, back and forth, make sure everything's nice and pretty. I wanted to mention one more thing. When I was putting the flowers on the edges, I did not tell you guys that I did not put them in straight. All the flowers I put in towards the table so they are on an angle. So even if this is hanging, the flowers are more secure when they're on an angle. If you have any doubt, just dab a little bit of hot glue wherever you want it. But as far as the edge over here, the flowers are kind of holding up the felt. So I'm actually not doing anything. I'm going to leave the felt as it is. It's covering the edges here. And then the rest, the flowers are covering. So it turned out really nice. And I didn't have to cut anything. I didn't have to glue anything. I'm going to leave it as is. I'm just going to poke a hole right there, because I have a little hook where this is going to go on, and this is just going to go on a hook right here.
I hope you enjoyed watching this unique wreath If you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing for more wreaths and Dollar Tree DIYs. With that being said, I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!